Welcome to another edition of Insurance Questions Podcast, number 89. It is Thursday, June 6th, 2024. I'm Eddie Buffalo. I see Sassy Sarah. I see Donnie Lowe. How you folks all doing today?
Doing wonderful.
How y'all doing today?
I'm feeling old.
Why?
My daughter graduates tomorrow.
Oh my gosh.
Like, I know she's been 18 since October.
Yeah.
I know she's turning 19, but it's just the fact of, oh, she's going to walk and do the cap and gown thing. And I'm going to be out of the office for most of the day tomorrow to do that. And it's like,
Well, I never said anything about it, but Donnie says how old you are all the time.
it doesn't bother me. So I don't care if Donnie says I'm old because I know I'm old. It's just the fact of it's different when your child is graduating for you to go, oh crap, I am old.
Yeah,
That's
crap,
true.
I've been old. Yes. So before we get started, hang on, Sarah. Before
I
you say
know.
something crazy, because you're usually the one. All the comments and ideas presented by Eddie Buffalo, Donnie Lowe, and Sassy Sarah are purely for entertainment purposes. And God, do your thing, Sarah. Do your thing.
Like, subscribe, follow, do the fan mail, harass Eddie because he likes to make faces when I talk and do stuff. If you're listening, you should find us on YouTube just to see the crap that we have to deal with his faces, even when he's muted.
Sarah, WTF? Why the face? Whoa.
Yeah, I told you whatever G really low to know where nobody could hear. That's another thing of like, bless your heart or sir.
That whatever, it wasn't that audible, but it came through the screen loud and clear.
Yes. You betcha. And if anybody knows me, they know what you betcha means. So you betcha, Sarah. You betcha. So me and Donnie were talking. We both had a different idea where we wanted to go with the show today. But Donnie won. He's a brute. He just browbeated me down, So Donnie,
How do you do
want
that, Donnie? Because I can never win against him. He just keeps going on and on and on.
You think you win sometimes. I let you do that every once in a while.
Oh, I know. And I don't care. I still won.
And a lot of times when I see your phone ringing, I text you, I'm so busy right now.
You bother him while he's napping.
I know.
So, Mr. Lowe, what I want to, the topic today that you want to talk about is common annuity questions, because what do we do on Thursday, Donnie?
See, when I say it, you're going to come back with a comment that I'm not
what
stating.
You say I'm going to come up with a comment. Who are you kidding?
We talk about annuities and questions that people might have.
Donnie loves being a nudie. So a nudity. So I'm going to put you on the spot, Sarah. What's a question you don't know about annuities? Because I already told you what I was going to ask Donnie. So you ask him something else.
Me on the spot. I don't know what I
just told you I was going to put you on the spot.
I know, but I don't do on the spot.
It's kind of like when people say, "Hey, I don't want to be a jerk, but
I'm a jerk."
Yes.
You do say that a lot, right?
No, I don't. I'm a good Catholic boy. Yes. What you got, Sarah? Are you looking it up on the interweb? Questions?
No, I don't have any questions.
All right.
I can ask questions when we get into it, but as of right now,
I'm going to ask Donnie my question. I'm a consumer. I'm not Eddie Buffalo. Teddy Buffalo. And you know what, Don? I've been working for the same company for 25 years. I got a 401k. They don't match it, so it's all my money going in there, and it sucks. I hate the return I'm getting back on it. Is there anything else I can do, Don, or am I kind of stuck with, is it like it is what it is?
Well, before I answer that question, since you said you're Teddy Buffalo,
Yes.
right?
Teddy
So the first
Buffalo.
thought that came into my head
Teddy
was,
Roosevelt.
yes, as
Have you
he
ever
was
gone to the
inaugurated to be president in Buffalo,
have you
and
ever gone
then,
to the inaugural site, Donnie?
oh yes, the Wilcox Mansion.
It is really cool. I've gone on a couple field trips with the kids when they were younger, and I probably thought it was more interesting than anything. You
Yeah.
know,
I can
It
see
is
that.
very
I love
interesting.
that kind of stuff. Okay, so go ahead. Yes, I'm Teddy Buffalo, not related to Teddy Roosevelt. No. Mm-mm.
So the teddy bear was not named after you, but it was named after Theodore Roosevelt.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't his daughter Ruth? Was that what the baby Ruth was named after? Or am I
I
thinking of
believe
somebody
you're,
else?
uh, it, I think you're right about that. It wasn't named after Babe Ruth. It was
Wow,
named
it must
after.
be Teddy Buffalo's birthday. I was right. Don said I was right. Oh, that's right. I'm not Eddie Buffalo. I'm Teddy Buffalo. So
That's
it
right.
goes right out the window.
All right. Getting back to your question
Going back
about
to it,
annuity.
same company,
So,
25 years. It's all my money. They're not matching it. I don't like how it's performing. Am I stuck or is there something I can do?
well, there are things that you can do. However, there are a lot of variables because when you put money into a 401k, and that's what you're referring to, right? A
Yeah.
401k. The money goes in before taxes are taken out of your paycheck. So depending on
So it's
your
pre-tax
age,
dollars, Don.
pre-tax dollars, correct.
And what is that,
So
qualified or non-qualified? I don't know.
those are considered or called qualified dollars. So it depends on your age, number one, how much of that money that you have in your 401k that you want to pull out or reinvest in some other way.
Whoa,
Number
I don't
two,
have to take the whole thing out. I can leave some in there and use some of the funds to do something else. Is that what you're saying?
yes,
I didn't know
yes, you
that.
can,
Man. Wow.
you can. So, and it
You
depends on the
you are
plan
just
too.
educating the crap out of Teddy Buffalo.
It depends on the plan too, who oversees the plan. There are so many different variables. So we have to really speak in general terms because we can't be too specific because every situation is different. So let's just, for example, say you're at the age of 59 and a half.
Let's do my age, 56 years old.
Okay,
I
if you
know where
pull
you're
money,
going with the whole 59 and a half, but I figured I'd give
right.
you a little bit of rope.
Well, all right, thanks. So because you're younger than 59 and a half, two things occur if you try to pull money out of your 401k. Number one, you're going to be taxed on that amount that you pull out. So it'll be federal taxes. And if your state has an income tax, you'll have to pay state income tax on that.
Whoa, whoa. I'm
Number
going to get
two,
taxed on my own money. What kind of garbage is that, Don?
well, that's the way these plans were set up because
I don't like
you put
it.
the money in before taxes. So when you take the money out, they qualify to be taxed.
I don't like
The
it.
second thing is because you're younger than 59 and a half, you will receive or be charged a 10% penalty on the amount that you pull out. So keep it simple. Let's say you're looking to withdraw $100,000 from a 401k.
Okay. So I'm
You're
only
going to be
getting
taxed.
90.
Well, no, because you're going to be taxed federally.
Mm-hmm.
So figure 20% as an average. Statewide. So Texas, is there a state income tax in Texas?
There is not.
All right.
That's what
So
makes
you don't have
Texas
to worry
amazing.
about that. That's great. But you will get a 10% penalty on the 100,000.
So unless I
So
really, really need this money, I shouldn't do it. Do I
correct.
pay taxes if I'm putting it into a different kind of program?
You get the only time typically, and I'm not a financial advisor or planner, so I'm trying to be very general. You can roll it over when you switch employers into your own, set up an IRA if you want. So
So
you
if
can
I'm
roll it over
still
into that.
working for these guys, I can't do it without a penalty.
unless there's a hardship, and there are different hardships that you can withdraw some money
Let me ask you
without
this,
there being a
Don. And
penalty.
I know you're talking about generalized terms, but say whatever company takes care of your 401k through the employer,
Mhm.
and you look for the same provider, and they have different products that you would like to get into, because you're keeping it within the same company that provides the product. Is there a taxable event if I turn it over to that?
I would say, without knowing all the specifics of the laws, I don't know for sure.
Mhm.
I don't think there is, but I don't want to go on the record and saying
That's
yes or
something
no.
we'll look into, because I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly.
everybody's always looking to obviously make the most money with their own money. And if you can do that by staying in the same company and using the same company that provides the 401k, I really, my gut's telling me no, but like until we find out, we're just gonna put a pin in that.
Right. So let's, on the premise of, you're not happy with the performance of that investment vehicle, and you want to take that money and put it all into an annuity. It's kind of where the general question was, right? Well, a couple of things. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. And because there's, so much oversight, and we're acting on the best interest of you, the client. So we don't
It's
want
the F word, isn't it, Don? It's the F word. Fiduciary responsibility.
fiduciary responsibility. And
See, I think I'm being pretty tame today, Sarah. I saw you give me that
You are.
eyeball.
You're
I've
doing
been
very,
trying to
very
get better,
good.
because like I said, I don't like getting hollered at after every episode. That's why every once in a while I'll say, "Oh, right after this, I gotta go. I got another meeting." They I can just push away her yelling for a little bit.
I do not yell.
Okay, sternly talk to me. How about that?
That's right.
Sternly, I can handle. I do not yell when we talk about the podcast.
You're just loud. You're like me. It sounds like yelling. And then I said, Eddie, blah, 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 blah. I'm Sassy Sarah, blah, 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 blah.
I mean, valid. I will admit to that.
Okay, I'm sorry, Don. I didn't mean to interrupt. Yes, I
All
did.
right. So because we act in the best interest of our clients, and we have that fiduciary responsibility, we would never advise, number one, to take all of your investments and put it into one vehicle. You kind of want to be spread out a little bit.
Sarah, can you spell fiduciary?
Yes. Anyways, going to questions I have answered or asked or to ask.
Oh, you got something now. All right, I'm gonna put myself on mute.
I Googled it.
Let me finish my point.
Yet. So cool your jets over there, Sassy Sarah. He's not done yet.
Quit interrupting him.
All right, I'm putting
Just
myself
let me
on
finish
mute.
my point. So, as to act in your best interest as a client, we would never recommend you take all your money from one investment and dump it into an annuity. Number two, the life insurance companies who offer the annuities, as life insurance companies are the only entities that can offer annuities, will not allow you to take all of your investments and put them all into an annuity. So there's a couple safeguards there for you. So Sarah.
Because why though, Don? Like our one podcast I wrote in the comments, annuities are for everybody as long as
I don't remember exactly what you wrote.
as long as, what do they check for? What do the states check for on annuities when we're writing them?
I'm drawing a blank on where you're trying to go with this, Ed. I'm sorry.
Everything gets checked that it makes sense for the customer.
Oh, yeah.
What's
So
it called,
again,
Don?
acting in the client's best interest
Best
and
interest.
fiduciary
Yes, that's where I'm going.
responsibility.
All right, well, I am going to go on mute, and I'm going to turn my camera off, so I'm not making.
Yeah, so just to
Sarah.
let you guys know, the listeners, when he does that, he's getting his laundry out of the dryer. Just saying.
He's making faces.
Okay, so I did a quick Google of some questions for annuities because, like I said, I don't know what I don't know. So I have two. what does a CD type annuity look like? Because I didn't know those existed. And then what is an income rider?
Okay. So a CD type annuity is basically a fixed annuity, meaning you're going to be guaranteed a certain rate of interest for the life of the annuity.
Okay.
So it's guarantees. But a big difference, though, between a bank issued CD, certificate of deposit, and an annuity is on your CD interest earned, you have to report that interest earned income on an annual basis.
Okay.
You do not have to do that with an annuity. You don't have to pay taxes on it on an annual
Okay.
basis.
So if somebody was transferring over 401k, would it make sense to do the CD annuity because they're going to be reporting or being taxed on it anyways? Or would it be better just to pay the taxes and transfer it over to a regular annuity?
Well, it depends on what they want to do as far as what their risk tolerance is for investments.
Mhm.
If they want to do a fixed income annuity, they can do that. If they want to do a variable annuity where you're not guaranteed a certain rate of return, there could be a very low rate or a negative rate of return. Or if the market is doing well, you can get a higher rate of return than a fixed. So it's all about income, what your goals are, what your risk tolerance is, and that's really what it depends on.
Okay. And then what is an income rider? RIDER for those who can't understand Texan. I'm not saying rider like writing.
I love that.
There are just some words I know when I say, I'm just like, it can be taken so many different ways, or it just sounds wrong to me, and I avoid those words at all costs.
Well, it just sounds different. That's all.
Different.
Not that it's wrong, right? Correct?
Sure, we'll go with that.
So an income rider gives you, and it depends on the specific company, but it's going to tell you what your guaranteed income is going to be, and it helps to protect you so you don't get, like a loss on the annuity.
Okay.
That's the last thing that you want is a loss on an annuity.
Does that happen from time to time?
It depends on the annuity. If it's
Okay.
indexed or variable, you can have a loss. There are riders where you can have a floor, meaning it won't go down below what your initial investment in the annuity was. So if you put 100,000 in, you can have a rider so that your market value will never be below the 100,000. However, there are costs for those riders. So, is it a cost that you want to have built into your annuity?
So what happens if annuity goes negative? Let's say you put in 100,000 and it loses more than that. What then happens?
Well, if you don't have the floor on that or the rider to protect you with a floor, you lose that money. If it's a variable annuity, meaning it's tied to the market, there's investments there, you lose that money.
So would you say the variable is a little bit more riskier? Because I know there's a lot of, I noticed a lot of CEOs, CFOs, owners of businesses are selling off a lot of their stock. So how do you see that kind of thing fluctuate? And in your opinion, would a fixed annuity be better? I know it depends on the person. I'm not a risky person. I don't gamble. So,
Yeah. So for a person like you, because you're a very low risk individual, you would rather go with a fixed annuity. So it's what the rate's going to be, that it's going to be paid for. And then, there's a lot of questions that we sit down and talk with our clients about annuities. What do you want the annuity to do for you? Do you want it to last a lifetime? Do you want to have income stream from the annuity over a certain amount of time?
Mhm.
and don't forget, you can have annuities where if there's a balance in there, you can have beneficiaries that would receive the balance of the annuity. So there's, a lot of different options there based on your risk tolerance,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
That does. Let's see. So here's another thing. I didn't know you could do a 1035 exchange with annuities.
Yes, you can. From
That is interesting.
one
For those who
annuity that
don't
matures
know,
to another annuity.
so typically, from my understanding of 1035 exchanges, it's property. You can have property, sell it, and have new property, transfer the money over. You delay paying the taxes, not that you get rid of them. So that's interesting that you can also do it with an annuity, kind of like a rollover of 401k, I'm assuming.
It's a little different than a rollover 401k, but what you're referring to on properties is a 1031 exchange.
1031. I was close. I was only
No,
four.
yeah, it's confusing. So, but in the life insurance world, you can do a 1035 exchange, and you can do a 1035 exchange, say from a life insurance policy to a new life insurance policy, roll over to cash value, or transfer it to a new policy without having any tax, situation occur.
Oh,
And like
that's
you said, a
awesome.
1031 for properties is you can delay that tax.
There are so many different forms and names of
Oh,
the forms. I'm like,
it's crazy. It really is crazy,
yeah, I always hear these where people are like, oh, we need to make it easier for the whole process and making taxes. And I'm like, they're not going to get rid of a lot of the items. What they're going to do is increase the standard deduction to where you don't itemize as much. But the big ticket items, I don't see them really getting rid of those.
Yeah. And you know what? Taxation's a great thing to talk about because with the debt of the country right now,
Oh my God. Yeah.
so the question is, how are we going to pay for all of that debt that we have incurred? When you ask people, do you think taxes are going to stay the same, go down, or increase? What do
So
you think?
there's a fine line with who they're going to tax and what they're going to tax. I see a lot of. So I did here. I'm going to back up just a little bit. So I did introductory accounting classes that I taught during COVID.
Hmm.
And of course, it was in that big whole uproar where people are like tax the rich and this, that, and the other. And I used because to me, numbers don't lie.
Mhm.
You can do calculations to figure out the truth. So if a simple calculation of looking at people's salary, the people who made more always paid more in taxes. Like that's what it is. So technically, the people who don't make enough, who aren't capping out on Social Security, aren't paying all the taxes. So it is kind of split because they get capped at what they can take. And I kind of look at taxes the same way. Like, yes, you could increase it, but then at what point do you cause damage to the economic situation? Like, you can tax companies to a certain point because eventually they're going to be paying so much in taxes that they can't hire the people. So they're going to look at AI or other ways to streamline and make efficiencies where they don't need as big of a workforce, which is going to lay off people, which is going to hurt households and the economy. Like and I'm not saying that CEOs and CFOs need billion-dollar contracts. Like, to me, that's outrageous. I think there's a fine line. And the problem that you have is, I don't want to say the people who make the tax code are bought, but there's a lot of lobbying from the people who have the money to make the taxes the way that they are so that they can save. So,
Well, that's very true. And if you think about it, a tax is an added expense for a business. And if taxes increase, the businesses aren't going to just absorb all that tax increase, most likely.
Right.
So what's going to happen? They're going to pass it on to their consumers or clients because they have to pass on the cost increase, basically, or expense increase.
Exactly.
So those are
And I always
conversations
find it
for.
funny that they, when people are talking about taxing the rich, it's like they're not going to cut their paycheck. The CFOs, all the top people, they're not going to cut their paycheck. And then, like how I mentioned, now a lot of the people are selling their own stock. And I always, when I see a lot of people selling stock, I'm like, what's going on? Like, why does all of these people need the money? So, but then that goes into, like I mentioned before, I love conspiracy theories. So then it goes into they've all built underground bunkers. Like I like to go down the rabbit hole because it makes a lot of, some of them make a lot of sense. And you're just like, I really hope it's not that bad. I hope that that's not true. But part of it is very logical. And then others you're like, okay, that's way too off the colored path. Like you got to come back to the yellow brick road.
Unfortunately, sometimes the ones that are way off the colored path are the ones that are true. Because
I
you would
know, I
never
know.
think of that, right?
That's hilarious. And just I've seen it in my time where people are like saying something, oh no, they're crazy, they're this, they're that. And then it was, no, if you follow the trail, it makes logical sense. Again, I love logic. And then it comes out years later that person was telling the truth. And I'm just like, but they were the crazy ones. They were the crackpot.
Yeah, no, that's true. So the bottom line here with great questions, Sarah. Thank you. The bottom line with annuities and really with any financial product, there's not a single answer. It depends on your situation, your risk tolerance, what your intentions are for your future. Do you want to leave a legacy of wealth for your families? All of that ties into what decisions you have to make. And that's why it's really good to sit down with a professional to ask you the questions that you don't know that you need to ask, because any good financial professional will do that. Again, and I'll save that closing remark from you, Eddie, that you close every week. But our way of doing business is to provide our clients with the best solutions, information for them. If a sale occurs, that's great. If it doesn't occur, that's okay too. We want to make sure that we're there for you, asking you the right questions so that you're a little more educated and you feel comfortable with whatever decision you end up making financially with us. So Eddie's trying to figure out how to unmute himself.
Laundry.
He can't unmute himself. Look at this. Yeah, you're still muted. So
I'm gonna say it. You're talking about the Yellow Brick Road. So, Sarah, are you a good witch or a bad witch?
It depends on the day.
Yeah, no kidding. That's a god.
It depends on the day.
And
how bad my ADHD is. So it's funny, yesterday I had all these intentions of going out and being social and talking to people. And by like 1:00, I'm like, not going to go out today. I'm going to stay in my house, be separated from everybody. I'm good. Thankfully, I didn't have anybody scheduled. Those are hard, is when I have to meet with a client, but I want to be antisocial and in my house and not interact with people. It's always horrible.
That's true. That's true.
So we are going to end this. There was really a lot of good information today.
How do you know you were doing laundry?
Oh, stop it. Stop it. Who do you think told them what to talk about today? All right. It was this guy right here. So if you enjoy working with people that are just like you, we're the people to see at www.eviagency.com, 716-306-2020. you can actually go to the partner tab on EBI Agency's website and find Sassy Sarah under McCutcheon Advisory. That's it for us for this week, unless we do some kind of show on Friday. So for Sassy Sarah, Donnie Lowe, and your buddy Eddie Buffalo, stay safe and have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Take care.
Thanks, everyone. Ciao.